Welcome to our Friday Lunch and Listen, and I'm excited to sit down with one of the co-founders of the Mom Wants More podcast. So stay tuned. It's 12 o'clock. Cheers. Having coffee for lunch right now. Let's see who joins us. We'll see our friend on here in just a minute. Hey there. Give us a wave as you, hi, there they are. Okay. Hey everybody. Hi.
Hello, Kelsey. How are you?
I am fabulous. I'm so happy it's Friday.
Oh, I'm with you. Whoop, whoop. Yeah.
I know. Okay, is it Alana or Elena?
It's Alana. I always tell people it's like Atlanta without the T's. Yeah, my parents, they decided to give me the lifelong gift of explaining my name to people.
I love it. That's so funny. I even went to your Facebook. You know how some people put pronounced like, and I thought,
I should do
it's not
that.
there. You should put pronounced like Atlanta.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
will.
gosh. Alana, I'm so happy to meet you, to have you on here. Everybody, welcome. This is Alana with the Mom Wants More podcast, and we're going to spend some time getting to know her and about the podcast and just what makes her run, and her partner also. So let's just kick right off and tell us about you. You're in Boise. Tell us, what do you do there? Who are you with? You know, your family? What do you do?
Yeah.
Give us all the deets.
You bet. So actually, I do live just outside Boise, but today I'm actually coming live from Hawaii. So
That's right.
It's a very long story, but my husband is in the military, so we're a military family, and he is stationed here in Pearl Harbor right now. He's a submarine guy, and so I'm here visiting him because it's submarine birthday ball weekend, so we get to get all dressed up and gussied up tomorrow night and go to the birthday ball, which is really fun.
Oh, what a wonderful time. What a nice time.
Yeah.
I just got back from Hawaii on Sunday night.
What island were you on?
Maui.
Okay, so I'm on Oahu. Love it here. We were stationed here for 2 years. It's fabulous. But so let's see. Other than that, what can I tell you about myself? So obviously, military wife. I've been married to he was my high school sweetheart for almost 16 years now. We have 2 little girls, ages 12 and 9, and then a super naughty French bulldog. His name is Kyle. And we love him. But yeah, and then I'm the founder and co-host of the Mom Wants More podcast with Amber Solis is my co-host. I love having a co-host. I did this thing by myself for about 6 months. Amber came on as a guest. We had so much fun. I said, hey, will you stick around for the summer and be my co-host? And she said, sure. And then we just didn't stop. We kept going. And I'm glad to have a partner now. And it's so much more fun to work together.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And she lives where?
She lives in Grants Pass, Oregon.
Okay, so do you get together? How far apart are those? I should
know
that. I'm in Washington, but how far apart is that?
I didn't know either. So Grants Pass is on the border of California and Oregon.
Oh,
so I think she's about an hour from the border. So I think it's probably about 8 hours. We work virtually, so we haven't met up. We're going to this summer. We're going to get together, but yeah. So it's really fun but interesting, and as well, having a partner that you work virtually with, but you're not in the same locale. It's an interesting dynamic, but so much fun.
So much fun. It just kind of spices up your week. I never know what to expect. And then I added in the lunch and listens like this and speaking to women from all over. And look at you on your little vacation in Hawaii. This is so fun. And I'm so thankful you could join us. So how long has your husband been in the military? From the minute he got out of high school?
Exactly. Yeah. So he enlisted. And then back then there was a program called Seaman to Admiral. And I don't know if it exists anymore, but it was a really awesome program that took guys that showed potential, sent them to college, and then commissioned them as officers. So we were married really young and finished college together. We were married at 20, finished college together, and then we just took off. We've been stationed all over the country on both coasts and in between. So.
Oh, so tell me your favorite place that you've lived besides maybe Hawaii.
Well, okay, besides Hawaii, San Diego. It was a fabulous place. But I always tell people there is good in any place that you live, just like there's bad in any place if you're looking for it. So we've really been fortunate that everywhere we've lived, we've really enjoyed it, and great people too.
Yeah. And Boise is actually a really big city. So you've lived there for 2 years?
So we just moved back. We were both born and raised just outside Boise in a rural
Okay.
town. And
Mm-hmm.
so we just moved back this past fall in October and built a house. And so my girls and I are there. My husband is here just for a little bit until he retires.
Oh, that's perfect. And so who's watching the girls right now?
My mom is. She's awesome. She kept
Isn't
him for the weekend.
family's amazing? It really
Yeah.
does take a village. And I
Yes.
love that about your podcast is that you say, I mean, besides we all know it takes a village, but
Yeah.
find your passion, pursue your passion, ditch the guilt.
My God-given talents and dreams. And so I started writing, and that's what I had always wanted to do. And so I picked that back up and started a blog. And then into February of 2018 is when I launched the podcast in order to encourage women to do the same thing, to really step into those gifts, pursue their passion in the middle of their right now life, whatever that looked like for them,
Mm-hmm.
whether they had young kids or teenagers or empty nesters, whatever that looked like. And so that's what we do over on the podcast. We interview women just like this, and it's
Mm-hmm.
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Best part of my job for sure.
Isn't it so fun? I love meeting women. Okay, let's talk for a minute about your, so it wasn't a stroke, or would they call it kind of a stroke?
Pulmonary embolism, so a blood clot. And the reason it cuts off, blood flow. But the scary thing is if that breaks off and travels to your brain, then yeah, it would cause an aneurysm. And that's what they worry about.
So did they have to give you TPA? Coumadin,
No.
heparin? Did
So
you need
yes.
surgery?
So I did not need surgery.
Okay.
They gave me a shot in my belly, which goes straight to the clot and dissolves that. But I was on Eliquis, a blood thinner, and I'll be on that for the rest of my life. From that, they found out that I actually have a clotting disorder. So I'm prone. I have 3 clotting disorders, and that's just my makeup.
I can't believe there are more than one clotting disorder.
Right. Yes, yes.
And, it's interesting how conversations can go back and forth, but that's what I love about these. My best friend has a clotting disorder. I don't think it's really bothered her too much before. Mm-hmm. But my husband had a stroke from a blood clot in his brainstem. So the heparin, a cocktail of heparin, Coumadin, and TPA saved his life. It was the same kind of thing. You have an hour left, or this might work. Yeah. So I get it. I get what you went through. I mean, I didn't go through it, but to be his partner at the time, his newlywed.
How scary.
Kudos to your husband, because it's really scary to watch, and to have to try to get back everything that you may have lost during that time. You get weaker and all those things. And then now, too, to be on the medication, do you have to get tested quite often for your blood?
Thankfully, Eliquis is one of the newer drugs, and I don't have to be tested. I do have to go in every so often, and they make sure that my levels look okay. Mm-hmm. But it's not like Coumadin in the old class where it was, a weekly thing. Which is really scary. So being newlyweds, I can only imagine how scary that must have been for you to be on the other side of that.
Yeah. Well, and, once everything was okay, he took kind of the lighter approach. And so when he had to go in for the Coumadin every week, he would let the students poke him. I just thought they are so lucky. And he'd just sit there and take it.
Oh my goodness. I know. I always joked that I was the youngest. I went through a good 2 years of, all the things, right? Pulmonologists and hematologists and everybody you have to see. And so I would joke that I was the youngest in the room by 30 years. And so every time I went.
So true. Oh my gosh. That's so funny. So tell me, you just reached, and it's more than this number now, but you and Amber just reached 10,000 listens. 10,000 people tuned in on their episodes. Just in the last month, I want to say. I loved your little announcement with the big fun balloons. So what has been your favorite episode, or are there a couple that stand out?
Oh man. Yeah. I love, this is such a hard question because there's so many good ones to choose from. So I have a couple. I think probably one of my favorites is actually somebody that I personally know. She's a fellow military spouse. Her name is Christy Johnson. I believe she was episode 9, but don't quote me for sure on that. I'll have to go look. But she started a boutique company, out of her living room. And her whole thought process behind this was, as she was a military spouse, she had a love for fashion and clothing. And she was stationed in Washington State. Actually, she was in Bremerton. And she decided she was going to take her love of fashion and wanting to do good, and she was going to put these things together. And so out of that, she created this boutique called Purpose, and Purpose has been around, I think they just celebrated 5 years now. They have 3 stores, and she's done $2 million plus in business, I believe. And here's the cool part is that she donates a portion of her proceeds to Rescue Freedom International. And her whole slogan is how you can shop can change a life. And so very cool. It's a really awesome. And Christy, it was just so fun to talk to her and hear her whole story, that this tiny idea that she had has now morphed into such a huge thing. Mm-hmm. I think another favorite was probably Rebecca Bender. She was, she's from Grants Pass as well, I believe, Oregon. And she she was formerly sex trafficked. And so her story is so cool and so powerful. And now she runs a nonprofit where she trains agencies and other people of how to help and what to do and how to respond. So her episode is another one. And then I think if I had to pick another one, it might be the one that's upcoming this Tuesday. I'm not trying to plug it. It's just really is my favorite.
You can plug it.
Her name is Maeve, and Maeve is a new mom, and she is just starting out trying to figure out, where do I navigate her son's 7 months? Like, where do I go from here? You know, what's next for me? I'm a new mama. And she just has so many wise words of wisdom for us. And so that's a great episode too.
Oh, God. So how many episodes total? I mean, 10,000 listeners, but how many episodes?
I think we are in 70-ish, 72.
Wow. Yeah. Incredible. Yeah. And so what kind of advice would you have for someone who's watching on here who might want to start their own podcast? And it's different than a lunch and listen where I'm just, doing it on Instagram and then I'm recording it. We are going to turn them into podcasts, but
yes.
Yeah. How do you suggest that?
Yeah, I think, this is such a great question. I would say I took about 6 months to research, but there is so much out there now about podcasting, and get podcasting help for free. Stuff you could pay for a course or buy a book, and that would be great, but I don't think you have to. So I think my advice would be to just do it, to start.
About anything, just do it.
Yeah, just do it. Whether that, and maybe for some people that's really like wading in shallow, maybe it is some research, maybe it is, a course or reading a book or something, but maybe for somebody else, it's just ordering a microphone and jumping off into the deep end, asking a girlfriend or whoever to be a guest. So I think that would be my advice, is like, just do it. Just jump in.
That's awesome advice, because I have been researching, just trying to figure out how to move it from, I like this part of it with the visuals, so that we can actually, see each other and read each other's expressions. And I'm not Italian, but I talk like it.
I love it.
I do like Italian food and wine.
Yeah, me too.
So it's just nice to, hear from other women how they've started, because there are so many who have had to, take the courses and spend lots of money, or, go to a conference to learn about it. So do you just go to a room in your house? You've got your microphone, like a Yeti that you picked up at Best Buy. I mean, walk us through, what would you do?
Yeah, you bet. So, no, don't spend money on a Yeti yet.
Yeti
Amazon. Yet. Yeah, don't do a Yeti yet. Amazon, it's called the ATR 2100. It's recommended by lots of big name podcasters, Pat Flynn and John Lee Dumas, and it is really reasonable price. I think you can get like a boom arm, so it attaches to a desk, so you can have it right in front of you, and you can get the little muffler. I sound super technical, right? The little muffler, whatever the thing is that goes over the top, all for under $100. Sounds great.
Wow.
Easy peasy. It has a USB. You don't need a mixer. You don't need anything like that yet. Plugs in USB to your laptop, GarageBand, or Audacity. Either are great options. Boom, you're ready to record. We record a lot using Skype if we're doing guest interviews, or Zoom. There's lots and lots out there. And so you just pick your poison, whichever one you want to try, and do it.
And you make it sound so easy. That's why I wanted, because you know what? You took your 6 months of research and you just spit it out in about 6 seconds.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes what somebody needs to hear is, listen, just these steps, do it.
Yep.
And moms don't have time sometimes to do
No.
the research. They're busy wiping butts or making dinner or what
Oh,
have
yeah.
you. So
You
I
bet.
so appreciate that. Okay, I have a
You
couple
bet.
questions for you.
Yes.
As a mom, what has been your biggest lesson so far for your
Mm.
learning for yourself for your little girls?
Mm.
And hi, Jen. Jen's on here, our friend from Mama Needs Box.
Oh, I love Jen. Jen and I
And
met at the Hope Writers Conference. I was just on her podcast. She's going to be on
yes,
ours. I love this. I love
I
full
know.
circle, right?
It's a
How you
full
just meet
circle.
people.
Hello,
So fun.
everybody. Christine's on here, and she's on our Start Loving You team. And I'm just so
Yay.
happy everybody's saying hi.
Hello. I think the biggest lesson I learned, I'm still learning. I'm still learning it, right? Because even at 12 and 9, like I don't have all the answers. It's still evolving and trying to figure out. But I think honestly, it would be to trust myself.
Mm.
I think that when I was a young mom, I felt like I had to listen to all the advice and read all the books and then implement everything everybody told me. And what I've realized that there is great advice out there and wonderful things that help me be a better mom, but I have to trust myself to know what my girls need and what I need and what works for our family, because
Right.
something that works for one person, it may not work for us as a military family, or it may not work for a family of 2 girls, or our personalities. So I think that's the biggest piece of advice is like, or lesson that I've learned that I would give to others is like, trust yourself.
Mm-hmm. I like that a lot. Yeah, you can get so much advice from so many places, but in the end, you have to love and trust yourself.
Yes. Yeah,
Start loving you
exactly.
and trust yourself. And
Yeah.
you're so every day. It's a daily thing you have to work on.
Yes, totally.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, one last one, and then we'll
Okay.
wrap it up. I'm so happy. I don't want to keep you because you're in Hawaii and you
No,
need to
this
go and
is so much
play.
fun. I was so excited to be able to hop on and do this with
I
you.
know. Next time we'll have to get Amber on too, but we'll do
Yes.
that another day. And
Sounds good.
so, okay, your favorite moments with your kids. And I mean, obviously, like whatever, bedtime. Think of something though what are some of your biggest moments that you remember as a proud mom? And maybe you help them get to that.
So actually, I can share a recent one. So my oldest daughter has swam for years. We started at Mommy Me, and then she just went all the way up through swim lessons, and now she's on swim team. And then my youngest daughter just started like about 2 months ago. She joined the same swim team, and so they've both been swimming. And this weekend was the first time that they both swam a meet together. And I took a picture before the beginning of the meet of both of them in their swim caps, and it has their last name on the side. And I had just this moment of like, I am so proud that one, they are girls who are being brave. They try new things. It's not easy. Like those swim
No.
meets are overwhelming, and there's tons going on, and it takes a lot to get up on those blocks and dive in the water.
Yeah.
And yet they cheer each other on. And so I just had this moment of like, okay, we're doing something right here. We've got something. They're becoming wonderful young women and chasing after their dreams, and I'm allowing them to do that. And so it was kind of a little, pat us all on the back moment,
All of you.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions for me about Start Loving You, or about anything, any of the women that are coming there, something that you might want to share with them about your podcast? And give me some questions.
Yeah, so I just saw that you guys just added a Saturday morning yoga class.
Mm-hmm.
I love this idea. I love that Start Loving You, that you guys, it's not just like a conference or a workshop, or you're really taking all these things and like implementing them, like body, soul, mind, all of it,
Yeah.
right? And so tell me a little bit about the yoga on Saturday.
Yeah, we finally just heard back from the hotel. They're so busy. And I love that because we chose a hotel that really people want to go to. And it's that Marriott in downtown Atlanta. But we're adding yoga. We've got an instructor. They're bringing us yoga mats. But I think it's all about being able to kind of come together and refresh and renew ourselves so that we can then sit down and really be ready for a full day of learning and listening and laughing and maybe crying
Yeah.
and loving on each other. So I'm excited about that. Yeah, we definitely try to bring a little bit of everything. And that's why we added our business workshop on Friday too. So I wish you guys could come. I know Boise's far away.
I know, next one, it's on my list. We're going to be there for sure. And I love your whole message behind Start Loving You Too, Kelsey. It's because I think as moms, we so often, well, as women in general, whether we're mamas or not, right? Our tendency is to give and serve and love on everybody else, but really it has to come from a place of loving and serving ourselves first. And I don't mean that as a, this, right? Like, it's not a selfish thing. It's a filling ourselves up so then we can pour out and serve everybody else better. Mm-hmm. And so thank you for what you guys do. And thank you. I'm so excited to hear how Atlanta goes and to be at the next one with you guys.
I know. We will definitely be doing a lot of lives and a lot of stories. And there's someone on there that says, I want to go so bad. And we just have tickets available.
Go.
But, we're doing the same thing. We're just doing it in 2 different ways. You know that, right?
Yeah.
2 different ways. And so I just appreciate the camaraderie and the support that people like us give each other. And I just thank you so much for joining me. And I can't wait to see your pictures of you all dressed up tomorrow night.
All right. I'll post some.
That's going to be so fun. You and your officer.
That's right.
Right?
We'll be all gussied up. So
I can't wait to see photos. Friends, if you want to follow Alana and Amber, go to the Mom Wants More podcast. You also have a website. I think that's linked in your bio.
Correct.
Right?
Yep. It's all right there.
Yep. And then you can go and see one of her favorite podcasts is coming up. You said on Tuesday?
Tuesday. Yep.
Okay. Can't wait. I can't wait to hear it. I'm so happy I got to meet you and chat with you. Thank you for joining me.
You too. Thanks for having me.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot.